Hello again, beautiful people of internet. I'm glad you didn't bail on me after the first video. In the last video, we got everything set up and talked a little bit about C++ and how it came to be, a little bit of compilers, code editors, natural languages, coding languages, machine languages, and what compiler does in between. I left a little question at the end of the video and hope you all solved that one. It was quite easy and the answer was in the video too. With that out of our way, let's get into our video. Now I will start with an example code, which is a simple one, the most simple one actually, on online GDB. Here we have our hello world function. Here I have opened my online GDB. No any adjustments, nothing. I just opened it. No account either. After you open it, you will first see this line: online C++ compiler code, compile, run, and debug C++ online. Write your code in this editor and press run button to complete and execute it. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. Now let's inspect our code. Here we have include. This means to add a library to our code. A library is a collection of functions, predetermined functions that we can use without specifying what they do. This IOStream is our main library, which we will be using in all of our codes. IOStream stands for input output stream, which comes from here, std cout, std c output. But let's not jump there. And then we have int main. Int main is also a function, which is our main function. What main function is? A function that we will be using all our functions inside of it. So if I run another function in this code, it will be inside main function. And let's look a little carefully here. There's something called int here, which stands for integer. Integer is a numerical value. We have a couple of parameters in C++. We have integer, we have double, string. Those are just examples of a few of them. So what this int in front of main means, this main function will return a numerical value when it ends. Now, this is where we'll use our parameters, other parameters inside functions that will change their outcome. And the functions work according to what we write into them. Most of them. Some of them are predetermined, of course. Then we have these brackets. These signify when the functions starts and end. Then we have std cout. This is std namespace. It's called a namespace, and we need to use this in front of every line. If I write something here, it will be there. If I want to go under it and line another more, write another more, it will be there too. Which is pretty annoying if you ask me. So we do something a little bit of sneaky. We tell the compiler that we will be using std always, like so, using namespace std. Pretty simple, right? Now I can just delete all of this std nonsense. Voila, much easier. But if we do this, then we need to end line in certain ones, like this one. Not as annoying as std, of course. Now let's talk about cout, which is our next agenda here. Cout means C output. C output. C output means our program will give us an output. Here we have a string, which is writing words and letters. Hello world. Cout means I will print this hello world on the screen. And then we have end line. end L stands for end line. And this little guy here is something we need to use after every line to signify it's done. Now let's run our code. Like I said, I'm using a potato, so as you can see, hello world. You can understand better here. Cout means from coding space, I will give you out hello world. Pretty simple, right? Of course it is. Now let's look at return 0. This is return value of the int main function. Here it is specified as 0. It could be something else. It could be a variable. It could be a parameter. It depends on what we use. This code was very straightforward. Easiest one of them all. And of course we end it with the brackets. Very easy if you ask me. Here I have another function which is also a hello function. This is say hello function. This one is also simple, not much different than hello world function. But in this one we will be seeing something strange. There is something out of int main. Why? Because this is another function. We introduce our custom functions out of int main. This is a say hello function. It is a void function that will not return a value. Void means that. And let's look inside of it. Cout hello from a function. This is a string. This is what cout will print. And line. And this bracket, curly bracket, defines the end of our function. Now let's look at inside of our main function. Int main, as usual, say hello, return 0. Let's run our code. Hello from a function. It did its job. Pretty simple. Lovely. Now let's look at another. And this one is a greeting function, which we have a parameter here, which is also custom parameter. This is not an original parameter. Void is an original parameter. String is an original parameter, but name is something we renamed. We have our include iostream as usual, using namespace std as usual. Then we have void, which again means it will not return a value. Greet, this is our function's name. String name. Then a curly bracket. Cout, I will print hello. Then our custom parameter name. Exclamation mark and line. That's it. This is our function, pretty simple. Now you can see instead of string name we wrote else here. Now we've specified our name parameter and gave it a value. Its value is else. And the function greet will work according to it. So it will be go something like this. Cout hello name, but instead of name it will be Alice. Exclamation mark and line. So it will give us hello Alice exclamation mark. Then we have greet Bob. Same way, doesn't matter. Cout, I will print hello Bob exclamation mark and line. Return 0. These two, which is the same function essentially, but with different parameters, greet and greet, will return no integer, no string, no value. That is what void means. And our integer will return 0 since it is specified. Let's run our code. Hello Alice. Hello Bob. Quite straightforward if you ask me. What's important in this few lines of code is we learned here that we can use different parameters in one function. So it acts like there is two grid functions, two different grid functions here when we use different parameters. So when I use Alice in one, does not affect the time I use Bob. That's it. Quite straightforward. So to recap, C++ syntax uses include, main, braces, semicolons. Functions are reusable pieces of code, as we saw in the last example. You can create functions that take parameters and perform custom tasks. In the next video, we'll dive into variables, data types, and user input. We only saw computer output here, cout. Next time we will see cin, computer input or user input. Super important stuff for making interactive programs. You cannot make an interactive program, an effective program without input. That is pretty much impossible. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have a question. See you in the next one. Take care.